Quilt of all things. I don't understand the desert. It has an open sky. I am used to hiding, feeling safe in caves and corners, sipping tea quietly from small glass cups, hearing distant melodies of Anatolia, seeking a white-bearded, whirling dervish to appear, speaking the wisdom of 10,000 years. What business have I under the open western sky, all exposed? My own voice whispers in my ear, if you don't like it, leave. There are some places you cannot leave. A smiling coyote looks at me with judging eyes, calling me a chicken. A roadrunner reminds me there are things to be done. I ask him, what things? He doesn't answer, runs after his own lizard. The memories of lost hope don't loosen their grip. The first road trip was long ago. He and I saw a hawk circling around us. The tones of subtle browns on his wing, invisible to the untrained eye, like mine. The flowers were so little, so white, so yellow, they knew how to hide. I imagined a smoke signal on the horizon, kept looking for the ancient people, riding along the asphalt behind the electric poles. He wanted to have a home in the desert. That moment, I looked around, saw nothing but 259 shades of brown answered him. Over my dead body, that is. 15 Hollywood years later, Monday night, the end of April, constellation Scorpio rose in the southern sky. Our car broke down in the front of Pepe's, an old movie set, a made-up town, 2 hours and a lifetime away from LA. In a nearby saloon, a young man who desperately needed a haircut was hitting an old banjo. Stars were big as our hands that night. The wind was fresh, no hint of dust in the air. We saw a broken down horse ranch, its back to dark hills with purple shadows. A hawk stood on its gate. It was the omen. The decision was made. We longed for a new beginning. Days without puke in the alleys, without smell of gasoline, sound of sirens, condoms on the sidewalks, bars on the windows. He wanted horses. I wanted to make a quilt of all things. Getting out of the rat race, he used to call it. There was a reason why God lived in the desert. I don't remember why. I do remember getting trees to celebrate our home. In the middle of a storm, we bought pine for Christmas, peppers for shade, cypress because they were in Van Gogh paintings. Mrs. Glenn said, "You city people, this is the wrong time to plant. We believed they would survive. They did. They had plenty of horseshit from the old corral to keep them warm. We were cold. We found out our river rock fireplace wasn't just for looks, nor was the stove. We forgot to get wood, went to bed wrapped in our bathrobes, giggled all night, making plans to get an alpaca in the spring, a horse by the fall. All he wanted was to write and live simply. Instead, he died. That night I was in the desert. He was not. I waited for him to wake up. I would tell him how beautiful sunrise was, how proud I was that I stayed in our home alone. I fell asleep just for a second. Beyond the pale pink sunrise, the desert tapped my shoulder. "Wake up," it said. "Wake up. It is time to witness how glorified I am, how small you are. Your home, your trees, your shed, so small. Your cats are small. Now pick up the phone and be told, he's gone. Your life is gone." Now, there are days I wake up to a bowl full of fears staring at me on the kitchen table. I focus on the pink berries of the pepper trees shaking in the wind. Fruit trees are his memorial. They survived too. The swamp cooler stopped working again. Water is too hard, pressure is too low, or whatever Mr. Finney explains. Even a rattlesnake was in the house one night, coiled behind the sofa. I called animal control. A huge police officer came, pepper sprayed the snake. I began coughing, my eyes hurt. He put his hand on his pistol and showed me a YouTube video of his target practice. He called an owl in the middle of the night. The owl didn't answer. The snake didn't leave. The officer also told me I have the right to shoot people in my yard. Next day, the snake left through the open door by itself, as if it owned the place. I try to be careful and tell myself, I get used to that kangaroo rats in the pool, a scorpion crawling on the white kitchen wall, the bobcat camping behind my shed. Then there are days filled with that sweet smell after the rain. I back off to the back of the barn to the edge of the hill, a lukewarm mug of coffee in my hand. I sit on a 30-year-old wooden chair faded by the sun. I stare at the top of the rock where his ashes are. The rock stares back at me. We say nothing. He used to tell me not to look back like Lot's wife, lest I also become a pillar of salt. My desert changes. Its colors shift. Sometimes a red bird stops by in the mornings. There is another nesting on the porch. I dug one more hole in the ground yesterday. I missed another planting season. This is the place I get all kinds of ideas, where everything is possible. Then I find myself watering sand again. I accept it now. It doesn't matter how hard I try. August will be tough. I still don't hear the ancient drums. Often I do see a man riding on the border where blue mountains meet a pale sky, a beaded bag of spears on his back, a red-tailed hawk with wings of copper and soft autumn hovering over his head. It does not matter how hard I tried. August will be tough. I still don't hear the ancient drums. Often I do see him riding on the border where blue mountains meet a pale sky, a beaded bag of spears on his back, a red-tailed hawk with wings of copper and soft autumn hovering over his head. I found a quilt of all things in the old thrift shop by the gas station. It has many colors, old fabrics, new designs. I imagine many women gathering around, laughing, creating. I pull it over my head to hide in the open. I pull it over my head to dive into the silence of the desert. I pull it over my head so my tears stay under the cover until the color of light